Welcome. Thanks for joining me. This practice is for those that work hard in their legs. So maybe you're training for a marathon, a triathlon, maybe you're just on your feet all day and you just really need to find some recovery for those legs. So this practice is going to help you find that recovery. We're going to target the hips, inner, outer hips. We're going to focus on the low back and then those hamstrings, quadriceps, hip flexors, just really getting into those areas that feel really a lot of tension when you work them hard. So take this as a recovery day, a place to kind of let go and release into some of those muscles by using your breath, using that yogic breath to help you relax into it rather than forcing your way into it. So we're going to start on our backs. When we start on our backs, have something underneath your back. So it might be a bolster along your spine. It might be a block, whatever there is, just to help you open that front body a little bit to begin. So that's where we're going to start today. At the end of practice, if you feel you need to stay longer, you're welcome to take legs up the wall instead of that traditional shavasana. And that's just going to help a little bit more aid that recovery into those legs. So gather your props, your strap, your blocks, your bolster, and I'll see you on your mat, on your back. Enjoy the flow. So once you're on your back, take a comfortable position. Have the knees bent to begin. And if you're on that block or that bolster, just open up the arms, kind of wiggle into it so you feel this nice little stretch across the front body. Your lower body feels supported by the knees being bent. You can even widen the feet a little bit and let those knees knock in to give a little relief through the low back. And then once you're there, take a full inhale. And let it go. Allow yourself to arrive into the space, onto your mat, into your body. Connect with the sounds, the smells, the temperature of the air. Just allowing yourself to become more and more present in this moment. Take another full inhale. Let it go. As you do, let those shoulders drop away from the ears, drop into the physical body. Scanning from head to toe, shoulder to fingers. Just acknowledging where that body is today in its physical space. Any areas of tightness or concern, any injuries or fatigue. Being mindful of those areas as you move today. We're going to get into the outer hips, the hamstrings, the hip flexors, the low back. So really targeting those areas in the lower body. And taking this as a recovery day, a way to get into those areas to stretch them, not necessarily in an active stretch, but in a nice little passive stretch to allow those muscles to lengthen and recover from anything else you're doing, running, biking, swimming, just daily life. And take another full inhale. And let it go. Tune in for a moment to that mental and emotional side. Check in with those thoughts, any emotions attached to those thoughts. Give all of that some validity. Give all of that some loving kindness. And then letting go one by one, anything you have no control of. Anything that's not serving you in a positive way today. Let those thoughts go. Detach from those emotions. And just allow yourself to become more and more present to the sensations in the body and the rhythm of your breath. Dropping more and more into this present moment. And taking both hands to your belly today. Bring both hands down to that lower belly. Place them on that belly, and we'll do one side of the breath here to open that practice. Exhale fully here. Take a full inhale. And let it go. Keeping your hands on your belly, try to relax the shoulders a bit more and just lengthen and deepen the breath here for a few rounds. Inhaling to a count of 4, exhaling to a count of 4. Just kind of acknowledge how the body shifts to this deeper breath and trying to keep this deeper and very directed breath throughout the entire practice. The breath is going to allow those muscles that feel a little bit more tension to hopefully ease into relaxation, to find a little bit more relief in them. And just continue to use that breath. Good. On your next inhale, draw the knees up to the sky if your knees have been knocked in. Walk your feet in a little bit closer to your hips. And then on your next inhale, take those arms up to the sky. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows out and wide, trying to draw those elbows down to the floor. Just kind of opening the chest a little bit. Inhale, reach those arms up, press the palms together. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows down toward the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up so you're pressing the back into the block or the bolster. And then as you exhale, elbows down, squeezing that block between the shoulder blades. One more time. Inhale, reach. And exhale down. Good. From here, take those hands, bring them to your lower hips or onto those thighs. Draw your chin to your chest. Curl yourself up so that you can remove anything out from underneath you. And then lay all the way back down to your back. Once you're there, take a moment, maybe straighten the legs. Just see how that feels in through the hips and the low back. Take a full exhale. And then as you inhale, drop your right knee into your chest. And if it feels too much to keep that left leg long, you can bend the left knee. Good. Exhale, point and flex through the foot. Just kind of get into the ankle a little bit. Good. Just kind of finding that little draw into the chest. Finding that compression in the front of the hip, the back of the knee. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Continue to breathe. And then take that leg up to the sky. Bring your hands behind your thigh and just kind of press the hands and leg into one another. Relax the shoulders down. Maybe do some ankle circles. Going the opposite way. So just kind of notice how this feels here. We're going to check in with these same poses at the end of practice and just see if there's any more, release of tension in those legs. And then bend that knee, place that foot on the floor, extend that leg out, and then draw that left knee into the chest, giving a big hug, squeezing it in, and then pointing and flexing through the foot. Continue to breathe nice and deep. That inhale 4, exhale 4. And then taking that leg up to the sky, grab behind the thigh, straighten that leg as much as possible. We're doing ankle circles. So with that leg straight and doing the ankle circles, you're getting more into the calf, the back of the knee, the front of the shin. Can you relax your shoulders down? And then bend into that knee, place that foot on the ground, straighten those legs out again. And then from here, bending into the knees. Take the feet nice and wide as your mat. Take your arms wide. And as you inhale, drop both knees over to the left, coming into that windshield wiper stretch. Exhale there, so feeling that stretch on the right hip. Inhale to center. And then exhale over to the opposite side. Good, continue that. Breathing nice and easy, no rush through this, kind of pressing the legs down, just kind of noticing how it feels through the hips. If you want a deeper stretch through the front of the body, instead of arms wide, take those arms overhead like you're reaching fingers away from feet to really get into the front body a little bit more. Take one more breath over to the right. And then when you get to the left side, you're going to pause there for a moment. And just pause. Good. Take a couple deep breaths here. Good. And then take that right knee, stack it on top of the left, roll yourself all the way over onto your left side. Take your right arm, reach it out in front of your face. So you're on your left elbow, your knees are stacked. And then that right arm, you're going to take it and you're going to do a big semicircle. You're going to take it overhead, out to the right side, open up. And then as you exhale, bring it back to the left. So we're going to do that 2 more times. You're going to inhale, big circle, finding that stretch through the upper body into the spine. Exhale back over. Good. This time, inhale, open and pause. Reach that right arm as far as you can. Take your left hand, press it on top of that right leg. Just kind of anchor it down. And then bend into that right elbow. Just kind of move the elbow up and down or side to side. So coming down to your hip and then up to your elbow. Just kind of getting across the front of the chest there. Opening up there. Good. Exhale there. Good. As you inhale, take the arms wide. Take that right knee up to the sky. Exhale, left knee up to the sky, so you're on your back again. Knees are wide, or feet are wide. And then drop both knees over to the right. Good. Stay there for a moment. And then take that top knee, your left knee to your right knee. Curl yourself all the way over onto your right side. So right arm is a pillow. Left arm reaches out in front of you. And as you inhale, open it up to the left. Exhale, semicircle back to the right. And again, inhale, opening up. Exhale, back to the right. This time to stay. Inhale, open, pause here. Right hand's going to come and anchor that left knee down. And then floating that left elbow, kind of drop down toward your hip. And then back up to your elbow, up to your shoulder. Just kind of getting across the front of that left chest into the shoulder. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale there. Good. As you inhale, take the arms wide again. And then as you exhale, draw both knees back up to center, pausing there. And just kind of acknowledge how that feels in the body, in the shoulders, the hips. Hug both knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze. And then from here, come up to seated. So you're going to rock and roll on your spine or press yourself. Come all the way up to seated. And then from here, you're going to come toward the front of your mat. Cross your right shin in front of your left shin. So making sure that you have a little bit of space, like if you were to have your block would fit between them. So you have space between your hips and your shins. And as you inhale, you're going to take the arms up. As you exhale, take those elbows or hands underneath the knees, scoop the knees up, and then press the knees down into those arms. As you do that, send your chest forward. So you're getting into the backs of the hips here. This will probably be our only really active stretch. Breathing into it. And then as you exhale, release those knees down, take those hands forward, let those knees drop as much as forward. Just rock a little bit from side to side. Getting into the outer hips, just checking in here. And then inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, walk those hands back. Take your right hand out to the side. Take your left arm to the side up high. And as you exhale, lean it over. Starting to bend into that right elbow any little bit. And then press that left hip down. It's getting a nice little side stretch here. Take your gaze to your bottom hand. And then can you make that top arm even straighter? And then maybe bend into that bottom elbow a little bit more. Nice big breaths. And as you inhale, press up, come all the way up. And as you exhale, release those hands down. Take that right knee, draw it up. And that left foot's going to slide under your right hip. That right foot's going to stay on the inside of your left knee. And then you're going to sit up tall and then rotate toward that right knee. And just hug it in. If you feel like you have a little bit more range of motion here, maybe you're gonna take that right ankle and slide it over the left knee, seeing if you can sit up a little bit taller. So that's gonna direct into that outer hip a little bit more. So just continue to hug the knee in and sit up tall. So as you're hugging in, you're kind of pushing your knee against that arm to find that stretch. 2 more breaths here. Try to relax the shoulders and jaw. Exhale fully here. And as you inhale, unwind, taking that bottom leg extended out. And then you're going to try and get that top knee anywhere you can closer to your bottom knee. If you need to sit up on something, slide a little prop underneath your hips. That's just going to give you a little bit more lift to get that knee over the other knee. And then sitting up nice and tall, start to lean forward. So great stretch for the hamstring, great stretch for your outer hips in this. And then wherever you are, let yourself kind of round forward just a little bit, get into the low back. Again, taking nice deep breaths, that extended leg, toes are pulled back. So that bottom leg's a little bit more active, top leg's just a little less active. And then start to lengthen the spine. Start to pull your chest forward, draw the shoulders back. So you might need to press up a little bit. So you're really going to get a little bit more into that left side maybe. Exhale fully here. As you inhale, walk yourself back up. As you exhale, draw that knee. Place that foot to the side. If you're on anything, come off of it. And then you're going to kind of just lean into that left side, draw that right knee down to the floor so your ankle's behind you. Grab onto the ankle and start to draw that knee back. So getting into that quadricep stretch. Good. If it feels okay, maybe drop to your elbow. You can even bend into that left knee and then roll the shoulders back. So you're pressing hand into foot, foot into hand, and then you're rolling that shoulder back. Take another couple deep breaths. Exhale fully here. Good. As you inhale, release that foot, press yourself back up. Draw that knee up, and then this time your left ankle is going to come in front of your right ankle. Sorry, shin. Left shin in front of right shin, so you have that space. And then inhale, take those arms up. As you exhale, take those arms, scoop them underneath, right? And then you're going to press down into the knees, into those arms, pulling the chest forward. So getting across the backs of the hips here, into those glutes. Nice full breaths. And then on your next exhale, slowly let those knees come down. Walk the hands forward any little bit and just kind of rock a little bit from side to side. Getting into those back outer hips, like right there above your hip bone, those muscles that get a little tight when we lean over all the time and we're sitting a lot. Exhale fully here. As you inhale, walk those hands back to your shins. And then as you exhale, take that left hand out to the side. Inhale takes that right arm up to the sky. And then as you exhale, lean to the left. So that left elbow starts bending, that right arm starts reaching overhead, rotating the palm down, and then opening up the chest, making that top arm even straighter so you can get into the side waist a little bit more. And then as your body allows it, as the breath comes in, maybe bend into that bottom elbow a little bit more. Taking that gaze down toward your bottom shoulder. Good. Big inhale here. Exhale. Press down into that bottom hand as you inhale, press yourself. And then as you exhale, release those hands. Taking that left knee, draw it up toward your chest. Slide that right ankle under your hip a little bit more. And just pause with the foot in front of the knee to begin, and then hug toward that knee. So this is kind of where you kind of check in and you're like, all right, do I feel much of a stretch here? Do I need more of a stretch? And then that's when you can kind of squeak that left ankle over the right knee. And continue to sit up tall, dropping that left hip down. So you're hugging the knee in, resisting it out. So it's a nice little hip stretch as well as a low back and upper back stretch with the twist. Nice big breaths. And again, allowing that breath to be full so as you're pushing and expanding into the back body as much as you're getting into the hips. Exhale fully here. Good. As you inhale, unwind that. And as you exhale, take that right leg out. And then start to stack that left knee on top of the right. Again, if you need to come up on anything here, just to give yourself a little bit more space to find some stacking. Take that time. And then start to lean forward any little bit, right? And as you lean forward this first time, you're going to round into the spine. Let yourself kind of really round, get into the low back. Get into those hips. That extended leg is active, toes are drawing back, so you're definitely going to feel the back of that leg. Continue to breathe. And exhale fully here. And as you inhale, lengthen the spine. Come up onto those fingertips a little bit more and pull the chest forward. So a little bit more active stretch in those outer hips, in the back of that extended leg. Nice full breaths. Exhale fully. As you inhale, come all the way up. And then as you exhale, lifting that left knee up, bringing it to the side, bending into that right knee, come off anything you're seated on, lean into the right hand, draw the left knee down so that your ankle comes behind you, and then start to walk that foot back just so you're getting into that quadricep. And if it feels okay, bend into that right elbow so you can lean into it and roll the shoulder back. Nice. Just kind of really breathing into that front hip flexor, into the quadricep, even up into the chest as you roll the shoulders back. Good. Exhale fully here. So as you inhale, slowly start to press yourself up. Bring that knee forward. Bring the soles of your feet together for a moment. Press down in your hands behind you and just sit up tall and kind of draw the knees down. Rock them a little bit from side to side. So your hands are taking most of the support. You're able to kind of feel where you're tight in your hips and in those inner groins. And then pause here. Just press with the hands, maybe come up onto those fingertips behind you and just press the chest forward. As you do, press the feet together and imagine you have little tiny strings on your outer knees that are pulling those knees down, just to kind of get into those inner groins. We'll come back to this in a moment, but just kind of getting into those inner groins a little bit here. Good. Exhale fully here. As you inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, roll yourself forward onto your hands and knees. Grab your blocks. Have them handy at the front of your mat. And then from here, press down into those hands as you inhale, lengthen the spine, a little cow pose. Pause here, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift and engage through those hips, letting that belly drop down. And then on your next inhale, press into the hands, round the spine. Press down into the tops of the feet. Stay here as you exhale. Keep pressing into the hands, chin to chest. Tailbone toward the floor, and then lean slightly into those hands, getting into that upper back. Exhale here. Good. As you inhale, find that cow pose again. And then exhale, find cat. Then inhale, neutral spine. As you exhale, grab onto those blocks, make them as wide as your mat, and step your right foot forward. So that right foot's forward, that left knee's back. Press down into the top of the foot, and then inhale, take those arms up. Good. So just getting into that left side here. Good. Press into the front foot, lift the chest, and then take those hands back behind you. Either bring them into what would be your back pockets or interlink your hands behind you and lengthen those arms back. If your hands are just into your low pockets, lengthen your elbows back. So we're really opening up that front body. Good. 2 more breaths here. Good. As you inhale, slowly reach those arms back up. And then as you exhale, bring those hands to the blocks or floor. Tuck your back toe, bring those blocks to the highest height and straighten your back leg. And so just kind of rock forward and backward and massaging into that hip flexor. And then from here, you're going to start to straighten that front leg any little bit and then bend back into it. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. So if you feel the blocks are still too low, bring the blocks on the inside, stack them again, bend into the front knee, and straighten. Good. So you have options just so you can get into that front hamstring by straightening that leg a little bit more. Good. Pause there in that straightened leg. Come up high onto the ball of the back foot so you're leaning into that front foot. Continue to breathe. One more full inhale here. Exhale. Good. As you inhale, bend back into that front knee. As you exhale, bring the blocks back to either side of the foot. And then that left hand's going to either come to the floor or to the block as your right arm reaches to the sky for a twist. And while you're in this twist, can you let your hips drop a little bit more? Can you reach up through that top arm really straight and then open the chest a little bit more? Big inhale here. As you exhale, right hand's going to come down to block or floor. Good. Bend back into that back knee. Take that front foot, slide it back. Good. Hands to the floor. Take a little cat-cow here. Inhale, find cow. Exhale, find cat. Good. Inhale to center. As you exhale, hands to those blocks. Step that left foot forward. Good. Press down into that back leg. And as you inhale, take those arms to the sky. Good. Big stretch in that front body. Pressing down into the legs, opening the chest. And then once again, hands come behind you. Either slide them down into those back pockets or interlink those fingers and then reach to the back of your mat. Good. Chin stays neutral. So you're opening through the front of the body, through the chest, into the hips. Good. One more breath here. And then as you inhale, take those arms back up to the sky. And on your exhale, bring them back to the floor. Bring those blocks up onto their highest height. Straighten the back leg. And then just kind of rock forward and backwards. So as you rock back, you're getting into that calf. As you rock forward, hips are dropping lower. Really getting into that right leg. Good. On your next exhale, start to straighten that front leg. So again, if you need to walk your blocks to the inside and walk them back to be able to do that. So we're bending and straightening into that front leg. And then the next time you get into that straight leg position, pause there. Come up high onto the ball of the back foot. Keep straightening that front leg as much as possible. Breathing into it. And 2 more breaths here. Exhale fully. Good. As you inhale, bend back into that front knee. Exhale, widen those blocks, and then right hand's going to stay down to the block or the floor. Left arm's going to reach up for that twist. Good. As you find that twist, let your hips drop lower, and then press into that bottom hand to open the chest a little bit more. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. One more full inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, circles that hand all the way back down to the blocks. As you exhale, bending into that back knee. Hands to the floor, slide that front foot back. Find a little cat-cow here. Inhale, cow first. Exhale, cat. Good, one more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. From here, find neutral spine. Plant those hands, tuck your toes, find a downward dog. Good, pedal the feet, shift the hips. Just kind of check in here, acknowledging your outer hips, the hamstrings, just noticing how they're feeling here. Couple deep breaths. Good, exhale fully. Find a nice still downward dog. So press into the hands. Gaze is to the back of your mat. Your head is heavy, so you can shake it yes and no. You're pressing into those hips, lifting them high, and then pressing those legs towards straight. So finding some activity in the legs, some stretch through the hips, the hamstrings. Exhale fully here. As you inhale, come forward toward plank. Exhale, bring the knees down, bring the hips all the way to the floor toward seated, and come back to that butterfly stretch. Bring the soles of your feet together. Press into those hands behind you, press down, and move your hips forward toward your feet any little bit. Good, and then from here, grab onto those feet, pull the chest forward and up as you draw the knees down, and then start to lean forward as your elbows go toward those thighs. Kind of getting into any little bit of those inner joints. Again, breathing into it. So keep a nice long spine to begin here. We'll get into that rounded spine in a moment. Good. On your next exhale, slightly round into the spine, right? So now you're going to get into like that upper back, mid back. You may not go as far into that little opening of the knees, but that's fine. Right, can you draw your chin toward your chest? You really just kind of round into that back. Let everything just kind of go soft, no holding, no gripping, no activity. Just letting gravity take over. Exhale fully here. Then as you inhale, slowly curl the spine up. And then as you exhale, help those knees up. And we're going to return back onto our floor, onto the mat, so onto your backs. Bring your strap with you and recline all the way down. Just kind of notice how that feels. Pausing here. Good, hug both knees into the chest. Good, keeping that right knee into the chest, extend the left leg long. Just kind of notice how that feels in the body compared to the first time we did this. Maybe point and flex through that ankle. We're going to add on just a little bit into this recline series, just kind of get into those hips a little bit more. And then take that right leg up to the sky. So this is where you have the option. If you have your strap, you can take that strap, wrap it around the ball of your foot. And let those shoulders relax a little bit more, or you can continue to just hold onto the back of the thigh, keeping that leg nice and straight. So you have two options here. So we're just getting into the back of the leg here. That foot's kind of resisting a little bit into the strap, but mostly just trying to go straight. So you're just trying to make that leg nice and straight, keeping the shoulders, neck, and jaw relaxed as you breathe deep. And then take the strap into your right hand. Keep your left hand on that left hip. Keep that left hip right where it is. Take that right leg out to the right any little bit till you start to feel that inner groin again. Good. That right arm just kind of holding that leg in place. Breathing into that inner groin. Good. Put a little bend into that right knee. Take that leg back up to center. Take your left knee, bend it. And then release the strap. Take that right ankle over your left knee. Good. And then just kind of pause there. Press the knee away. Getting into the hip a little bit. Flex through the foot. And then start to draw those knees toward your chest. Wrap your hands around that left thigh. And then once those hands are on the left thigh, lean a little bit to the left and kind of push your right hip toward the floor more, trying to lengthen that right hip area, right? So that right sideways likes to inch up toward our shoulder. See if you can lengthen each side equally while holding onto that leg. So you're gonna find just a little different stretch in that glute area, across the piriformis, into the low back. We're going to take it a little bit deeper. If this feels good, stay here. If you want to go a little bit deeper into that outer hip, release the left thigh, place that foot on the floor. Take your right knee over your left knee. Press into that left foot, shift your hips a little bit to the right so you're mostly on that left hip, and then start to drop your knees any little bit to the left. So that bottom knee, that left knee's pressing into that right leg, pulling it down, getting into that outer hip here. And again, use your breath. Find length in that right side waist. So you're pulling your right shoulder and your right hip away from one another. You're letting gravity take over to get into that tight outer hip. And then any little bit, maybe open the chest, open the arms wide. Gazes toward the ceiling. And just take nice deep breaths here. Exhale fully. Engage through the belly as you inhale, draw the knees back up. Unwind them. And then press into the feet, bring the hips back to center. Just kind of pause there. And then taking that left knee into the chest, extend the right leg long. And again, just kind of notice how that feels compared to the first round. Maybe you have a little bit more range of motion. That knee comes a little closer to your chest. Maybe point and flex through that ankle. And again, just nice, easy breathing. Inhale 4, exhale 4. And then if you use your strap on the other side, strap that leg up. Extend that leg to the sky. And again, straighten the leg as much as possible. Arms are straight, and then relax the shoulders and the arms. So that little extra weight helps straighten that leg. Extended leg straight. Leg toward the ceiling is straight. Just feeling the back of that leg there. Nice full breaths. Neck and jaw relaxed. The only tension we might have somewhere is in the grip of the hands. Trying to release the tension in the back of the hamstring. And then take the strap into just your left hand, right hand to that right hip. And then take that left leg out to the side just until it stops when you feel that inner groin. And then imagine heels drawing away from one another so you're really stretching into that inner groin. That right hip stays anchored to the floor. Getting that nice little stretch on that left side. Notice if you're gripping in the shoulders or the jaw, see if you can relax there. Put a little bend into that left knee. Take the leg back up to the sky. Good, pausing there. And then take your right knee, bend it so the foot comes to the ground. Release the strap on that left leg. Take that left ankle to your right knee and pause. So pressing knee into ankle, send the knee away, just kind of getting into that left outer hip. And then slowly start to draw those knees toward the chest. Wrapping your hand around that right thigh. And then lean a little bit to the right to send that left hip a little bit further toward the end of the mat so both side waists are equal. Usually that left side's a little shorter. And then continue to breathe here. Feeling that nice little stretch through the left side. Across the left back body into the hip. Try to relax the shoulders as much as possible. And if at any time, sometimes some of this we tend to tighten, you can always place something under your head so that you kind of relax a little bit down. And then from here, if it feels good, stay here. Otherwise, release that right thigh, place that foot on the ground, slide your left knee over your right. Press into that right foot, shift your hips slightly to the left so you're on the right hip more. And then start to drop those knees to the right. And so that right knee's pressing on that left leg, getting into that outer hip on the top side. And then from here, use your breath to find space between top shoulder and bottom hip. So opening that sideways up. Arms maybe going a little bit wider to open the chest. Gaze is to the ceiling. And just let gravity do the work here. A little bit of leverage of the knees crossed, getting into that left outer hip. Find a little bit of rotation in the spine as we breathe. That nice full inhale 4, exhale 4. Exhale fully here. As you inhale, draw the knees back up. Exhale, unwind the knees, feet to the floor, shift those hips back to center. And then draw those knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze. And then place the feet on the ground. Slide those legs out. Take up the distance of your mat. As you do, press down into the heels, squeeze your glutes so you can kind of find that length in the front side. And then press into the hands, press down into the elbows, slide those shoulder blades underneath you so that your chest opens. And then exhale, press into the heels, lift the hips slightly, lengthen the tailbone toward the end of your mat. So you have this nice long spine against the mat. And then exhale, relax your legs, relax your arms. Wiggle around a little bit, find some comfort. If you need a little bit of extra support under your knees, roll up a blanket or put your blocks under your knees. But kind of just Get all those little wiggles out. Maybe rock the head from side to side. Acknowledge the opening and the openness of the front body. Maybe the length and the openness of the back body. Notice any sensations that are happening in the hips. And then just stay with those sensations. Just for a few more moments, just acknowledging them. Dropping into that physical body. And then start to tune your awareness to your breath. That slight inhale and exhale through the nose. Your breathing's kind of returned back to normal. Just take a little scan from head to toe, shoulders to fingers, releasing any tension in the body. Maybe the jaw is tense. Can you relax it and let your tongue slide away from your teeth? Can you relax your whole face and your shoulders just a little bit more? And just allow yourself to stay with that sensation at the tip of your nose for a few moments of silence here. I'll bring you out of Shavasana with the sound of my voice. Take rest. Allowing your next breath to come in a little bit deeper. Check in. If you need to stay here a little bit longer, please do. Otherwise, start to gradually bring some movement into the fingers and the toes. Making wrist and ankle circles. And then taking those arms back behind your head, slide your feet together. Give yourself a long stretch here. And then slowly bend the knees. Your choice, either hug those knees in, maybe do a little windshield wipers, maybe a little happy baby, whatever is going to feel best in your body here. Just take some time to bring the circulation back to the body. And then when you're ready, use your arm as a pillow, roll over to one side, and just pause. Curling into that little ball on one side. Acknowledging that little shift between movement and stillness, and now stillness to movement. can mindfully press yourself up, all the way back up to seated. Once you found that comfortable seat, allow your eyes to close. Arriving back into the space, onto your mat, into your body. Taking time to connect with the surroundings. And staying here in the present moment just for a moment. Acknowledging those little shifts and changes from the beginning of practice till now. Not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Offering up some gratitude for taking time to make it to your mat, to work into those areas that need a little bit of recovery from all the extra work that you do in the legs and the hips. We'll take this time to seal that practice in with that sigh of the breath or an om, your choice. Bring your hands either to your low belly, one hand to heart, one hand to belly, or both hands pressing in front of your heart. Exhale fully here. Inhale. Taking a moment, think of one thing in your life you truly are grateful for. Hold on to that image in your mind's eye as you raise your head with a smile. Thank you for making. Namaste. Lots of water, each veggies for self-love.